Have you heard about the toughest 2 minutes in sports? Well, you will next on Inside St. Lucie. Welcome to Inside St. Lucie, SLC TV's monthly government affairs show. I'm your host, Eric Gill, Communications Director for St. Lucie County. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about the Firefighter Challenge and the St. Lucie County Fire District with my guests, St. Lucie County Fire Chief Nate Spera and St. Lucie County Commissioner Chris Sadowski, as well as some members of the local fire district. But before we meet our guests, here's some upcoming events and announcements from the Board of County Commissioners. The Indian River Lagoon Science Festival is set to return on Saturday, October 22nd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Veterans Memorial Park, 600 North Indian River Drive in downtown Fort Pierce. This free event is designed for the whole family with dozens of hands-on activities exploring the wonders of science, technology, engineering, art, and math. For more information, visit irlsciencefest.org. Now for the latest updates about all St. Lucie County Commission meetings, workshops, and events, be sure to visit our website at stlucieco.gov and click on our comprehensive calendar. And if you'd like to be added to our press release distribution list, send us an email at pio@stlucieco.org and we'll be happy to include you. We're also on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at St. Lucie GOV. We're going to take a quick break. Before we do, we're going to check in with the latest economic development stats with another St. Lucie Works. After 14 months of record-setting collections, bed tax collections for June were 6.5% lower than June of 2021. However, year-to-date, collections are 42.6% higher than last year. Overall building permit activity in unincorporated county increased slightly in June with 1,371 permits submitted compared to May's 1,091 permits. Valuations and revenue for that same time frame were above normal. According to the Florida Realtors Association, the median home sale price in St. Lucie County in June was $399,000, up 30% from last year, while condo values rose by 44%, with the median price at $318,500. St. Lucie County's unemployment rate dropped slightly in June to 3.4% compared to May's 3.5%. Statewide, the unemployment rate was 2.9%. The largest increase in the labor force on the Treasure Coast was in leisure and hospitality with 2,000 new jobs, followed by education and health services with 1,200 new jobs, and professional business services with 1,100 new jobs. If you look for a local business looking for skilled or trained labor, be sure to contact the staff at CareerSource as they can assist your company with its recruitment and training needs. And if you're an individual looking for a job, they can help you as well. Visit the CareerSource online at careersourcerc.com or call 1-866-4U2-HIRE. Welcome back to Inside St. Lucie. I'm your host, Eric Gill, and I'm joined by St. Lucie County Commissioner Chris Sadowski and Fire Board member.
That's right.
And Chief Nate Spera with the St. Lucie County Fire District. Thank you both for coming on the show today. And you guys didn't bring me this trophy, right? This isn't mine. Let's talk about what this trophy is and what it represents.
Good, Chief.
Well, that's a replica of the World Trophy that our combat or our challenge team, Firefighter Challenge team, has won the Worlds twice and won national championship. The real trophy is about this big and that tall and weighs about 100 pounds. So we made a small replica to travel around the community with.
Nice. And let's talk about what is the Firefighter Challenge.
It's considered the toughest 2 minutes in sports. Fort Pierce has hosted it 3 times. They erect a 2 to 3 story tower, and there are several modalities that they have to go through, including climbing the tower with a section of hose. When they get to the top of the tower, they have to hoist a section of hose up, climb back down the tower without missing a single step. They have to drive what's called a Kaiser sled, which simulates using a sledgehammer axe on the ground. From there, they pick up and do a hose drag, knock down a target, and then they have to drag a 175-pound weighted body across a section there. If they can get it, what's our record now? Yeah, as an individual. 120.
120 is the record.
Yeah, and it's held by the gentleman that just told us. So it's a real challenge. I'll tell you, just walking through the paces is hard enough, and we've grown our team over the past 5 years from a small cadre of dedicated individuals to now a very large group of both men and women this year.
Nicholas, you're on the Tourist Development Council.
And
And
I wear a lot of hats today.
Yeah, exactly. You're wearing all of them. So, and this is something that actually the TDC supports because it's sports tourism.
Right, Tourist Development Commission Council is the TDC. We use a lot of acronyms in our job. So yes, and as a matter of fact, we support the Sports Commission. The
Play
it's called
Treasure
Play
Coast.
Treasure Coast.
They changed their
Sport.
name recently.
Right, I know.
We're still getting used to it.
And as a matter of fact, I have a couple notes here that they gave me as to what kind of sports tourism has brought to the county. In this past fiscal year, 58 events had been produced, over 18,000 room nights in St. Lucie County specific. The projected income impact over those 58 events is $34 million. So it's a pretty good investment in what you're seeing on the return on the investment. And then the direct spending for spectators and participants in those events is about $19 million. So you can see that the small investment that the TDC, Tourism Development Council, invests in Play Treasure Sport, the Sports Commission. I'm sorry.
Sure, we can still call them Sports Commission.
It's about $220,000. So you see the return of $34 million in those 58 events. That's significant for the community.
Yeah, and that's not all of them because I wear multiple hats too, and I'm on the Treasure Coast Disc Golf Club. We host tournaments too, and we don't get any Treasure Coast Sports Commission funding or Play Sports. We've had 120 people, so there are, sports tourism really is a thing. Is people will travel to the other side of the state to play in tournaments, and then especially when it's youth tournaments, mom and dad and grandma and Aunt Sally all come down for that.
Absolutely, in the baseball, and we have Vinnie Ball here, which is lovingly known as Vinnie Ball. We actually invested an extra $2 million in creating 2 more fields at the Lawnwood Stadium, and the amount of money that was coming in each year, and they've been here for 35 years now. The original number before we put those fields in was about $2 million in direct economic impact. After those other 2 fields, it was almost $5 million. So again, and those fields are now being used locally too by the community.
Because it's usually spring break and our kids are off, and and
so there's a lot of impact that happens through the tourism side, and kind of getting back to the firefighter challenge. I was asked to do this when I first came on the tourism board with the Indian River State College on the safety facility. They were just opening it up, and it was the first firefighter challenge, and we did it at the safety complex. And that's where I met one of the participants who you'll see later, or talk to later. But I can tell you that was a first, and it was kind of hidden away at the college. But over time, we thought, let's make this a community event. And it's turned into an amazing event where we have vendors and so on and so forth, participants. We even have CrossFit teams that actually run, corporate events that run the course. So they become sponsors, and so it can be a much bigger event. And we're very proud to have had a regional event, a national, and the world championships here.
Yeah.
So Chief, why do you guys do this?
Well, about 5 years ago when I became the fire chief, one of the things we really wanted to address was firefighter fitness. And to dovetail into that, we're expanding the team and working on the challenge team as the high water mark for all of our firefighters. But we've incorporated diet and weightlifting. We've expanded what we do with their physicals, with their annual physicals, and this is basically, the tantamount. The goal for everybody is to be on this team and to move people to participate. Like I said, the participation now is phenomenal. They expanded into a women's team that'll be debuting at the next event, and I think they've already got over a dozen participants in that. So.
And Chief Sparrow's vision, with the wellness side and the physical fitness side, it coincides with what Indian River State College and their training facility is attempting to do. When the cadets come through, oftentimes they're very adequate in the education side, but sometimes they have challenges on the physical side. So as they come through, we hope that with our relationship with Indian River State College to build a facility right there on the safety complex to improve that physical fitness as they come through the program, and then when they come into the service themselves. I understand that we had some 30-some new cadets. I could be off on the numbers, but they actually volunteered to come out and train with the folks that are actually running the courses today. So that just success breeds success. And again, from Chief Sparrow's vision, it's now coming to a great big crescendo, and we are going to be the training center, I believe, of the Treasure Coast, if not the state of Florida.
And this event is a public event. What are the dates again? September
September 22nd through the 24th, and it'll be held at the Manatee Center parking lot with the Bacchus Center there. It's a great venue. You see the water behind, and a lot of the participants actually look out over the top when they reach the top of the tower, and they kind of pause. It's like, oh, I got to keep running because
don't take in the views. The clock's ticking, right?
We call that home field advantage. Our guys are used to the water.
Yeah, they see it all the time. Like, yeah. Well, let's talk about partnerships, and you mentioned sponsorships. You got a media sponsor, WPTV, I understand, is sponsoring. And who are some of the other local communities? Because I imagine the restaurants downtown benefit from this.
Absolutely.
Some of my favorite places like Pierce Cider and Sailfish, probably benefit from this afterwards.
Even our local Boys and Girls Club, they have a food truck that they unveiled last year. I think one of the first events they did was the challenge event a year ago. So they're out there and supporting the kids. The kids that work that truck are all Boys and Girls Club kids. The money, they get paid to be out there for the day, and the money rolls back into the local
club,
Boys and Girls Club. So it's a big benefit.
Yeah, and Indian River State College is host sponsor again this year, and we'll talk to some of the participants and some of the CrossFit gyms and that they actually work in, who have been very, very supportive. So we'll let those folks talk about that.
I want to talk real quick too about partnerships, because you mentioned training and partnerships, and I know our Environmental Resources Department over the last few years has really stepped up their partnerships with the fire district.
Absolutely.
We got 11,000 acres of environmental lands that are great nature preserves, but they're also they can be fire hazards if they're not. People don't understand prescribed burn is a natural thing, right? And when we do these burns, we have to do them or else the fuels build up and it gets out of hand.
Florida, is part of our natural environment. If you drive across the state, you'll see, palmetto palms that will grow up to 3 to 5 feet, and then you have your pine trees above that. And what we've had in Florida is invasive species will get in between there, and they actually bridge between the two. So one of the things that they try to do at ERD is to continuously maintain that normal flora and fauna. So burning out those palmetto palms, they're going to pop back within a year or two, but it actually reduces the fire load, so it kind of helps with containment. For those of us who were here in 1999, when we had the major fire, that was a big contributor. There was a lot of invasives that were in between houses, and that really contributed to, on top of really bad weather conditions.
Sure.
So ERD is really critical. I know people aren't crazy about prescribed burning, but the reality is I'd rather have a planned, controlled burn than an unplanned catastrophe. We've been there.
And it talks about our fire education side. It's about talking about having a perimeter around your house, not so close to your house. And so again, back to the partnership, to the education, to the fire district, as to how we help our community.
Yeah, one of the things I learned too, even those prescribed, there's certain pine cones, like the seeds don't open up till fire hits it anyway, because lightning strikes over the years. That's how forest maintains itself. But we'd obviously, like you said, we'd rather have it controlled and maintained than those wildfires. Let's talk a little bit. You sit on both boards, and a lot of people move here from out. We're one of the few places in the state of Florida where the fire department is not under the Board of County Commissioners or a city. You're your own independent taxing district, made up, I want to say, of not county commissioners, but there are 2 commissioners from each municipality and then 1 at large, right?
Yeah, the county has 2, each of the cities has 2, and 1 is a governor's appointee. We were the original Fort Pierce Fire Department back in 1906. By about 1956, we had a horrible accident involving one of our captains who was responding to a call in an unincorporated county. The county and the city leaders got together at that point, and by 1959, they created a county-wide fire control district. Over the years, I think it's been the best thing for our community, because I've been here 31 years, going on 32, and it's always kind of found its own kind of balance. So, 32 years ago, Fort Pierce was kind of the center of attention, but as Port St. Lucie grew, those commissioners had to focus community-wide. So they're not kind of tightened to just one district they're responsible for, not just their municipality or the county, but the community as a whole, and it's worked for us.
Yeah, and we've actually moved to accreditation. We run along with our ISO ratings. It helps to lower the insurance cost across the county. And as a matter of fact, we're not right now trying to reach and deal with the amount of population growth. And so, Chief, you want to talk about the projected new stations that have to come on board and the cost associated with that?
Yeah, we have. We're probably looking at 3 stations. One will be near Milner Road, right next to our administrative complex. Right now, the response times out there are over 6 to 7 minutes. We are able to project that station right now would start off with over 2,000 calls a year. So there's a deficiency there we have to address. The area Kings Highway, north of Okeechobee, there's growing residential around there, but we also have the entrance to the Turnpike in 95.
And maybe possible airport expansion.
Absolutely. And we've already projected out that would also run around 2,000 calls per year in that sector. And now tradition, the way it's growing down there, we have land allocated near the Del Webb community. Their run volume isn't quite there yet, but within a couple of years it will be. But every time a station costs somewhere between $3 and $4 million to build. The annual staffing costs are about $3.5 million a year. So we're preparing now for those. I know we're in the architectural phase on the Milner Road station, and we're probably going to be moving pretty quickly on the other 2 stations behind that.
And just recently at a board meeting, a fire district board meeting, I never stopped learning in this job. And we talk about the 1.1 million square feet of spec space or warehouse space. And when you think about it, if there's an incident inside that building, it's all the way in the middle of the building. How long is it going to take a firefighter to get from there to there with their air pack? And what do you do in between? So the fire district is always looking at ways of technology and changes of training and process to be able to deal with those types of things. So that was pretty interesting that I had heard that, and I didn't even think it until it was told to me. So that was interesting.
Now, September is the time when all local governments finalize their budgets and hold their budget hearings. And Commissioner, I know the Board of County Commissioners is lowering the millage rate, one of the largest reductions in I think the 19 years I've been here, and it's the 3rd year in a row we've lowered the millage rate. How's the fire district doing with building all these buildings? I know that might be a challenge.
I think our community's at an inflection point. I think this year we'll be entertaining bringing it down some. We're going to lay out a larger process later this week, and then when we go into the final budget hearings. But what's happening now that's been unique from my experience is commercial growth is finally blossoming in St. Lucie County. When we look to areas like Palm Beach County, there's been a nice balance between rooftops and commercial, and we just haven't had that luxury. And the nice thing about commercial is it really starts to take some of the pressure off rooftops. Rooftops are always a challenge to produce enough revenue to provide services, particularly for fire services. So when you're hearing about Amazon and these other corporations coming in with million square foot facilities, the taxes that they're going to bring are going to take some of the pressure off all the other taxpayers.
Yeah.
The single largest taxpayer in St. Lucie County has been FP&L forever. And they've been carrying that load. So now it'll spread out a little bit, and it'll give us the ability to really do more with the millage to bring it down over time.
And as you talk about that conversation, the commercial side of things, that was something that I had wanted to focus on when I first came into office, is to balance the economy of St. Lucie County. Rooftops, retirees, tourism, and at the time failing citrus due to greening was not really the economic development card that we needed to play. We needed to have something more diverse. And so moving into intermodal distribution, manufacturing, targeted industries to be able to do that. So it's taken 12, 14, 15 years to get there, but we're there. While tax abatement may be a tool to bring businesses and expand businesses, it gives an opportunity for the fire district, school district, and other elements of taxing districts to secure those funds.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to let folks know about either the upcoming challenge? I know we're going to have some competitors on to talk more about what that process is like, or just people have questions about the fire district chief. Do you guys still do in school trainings and
we're still doing trainings in schools. One of the things that we are working on community wide is something called the Safety Village, and that we've got some land allocated in the Wilder community off of Midway Road. And I'm currently the chair of the Safety Village Board. And ultimately what that's going to be for our school kids generally, but not uniquely, it'll be a one-stop shop. The goal is to have them come out there twice during their educational experience, where they'll meet with police officers, they'll learn about cybersecurity, home safety. Instead of our public educator going school to school to school,
bringing the trailer around, and
the kids will come to her or them, and we can do it there. There's a community in Georgia that does it very successfully, so that's kind of futuring out. That's what we're kind of moving towards. It'll be a regional facility, so we're hoping to get partnerships with both Indian River, Martin, and Okeechobee counties on that.
Awesome. Again, it sounds like another opportunity for the college to tie into that
Absolutely.
as well.
And my final boost here is Big Heart Brigade. It'll be in November. We've been raising money since spring to prepare over 3,000 meals for the community in partnership with Indian River and Martin County. And so we're still going to be looking for volunteers in November to prepare those foods and deliver them. So.
When is that boot thing that you guys do, the fundraiser where you take the old firefighter
Little Feet?
Little Feet,
Little Feet is October 13th this year.
And I still have one of those boots outside my office. Remember the Christmas party one year?
I do. And
he always finds a way to get me to buy one.
Well,
I inherited one from the different
Okay.
commissioner. But
Yeah, so October 13th, that'll be at the Riverwalk Center in Fort Pierce, and it's an auction. We have just the boots as art projects. We have helmets now and fire extinguishers.
I'd
So
rather
we're
have the helmet.
expanding the opportunities for folks to invest in these art pieces.
Awesome. Well,
Let me just speak to that.
Yeah.
One of the things that Little Feet was born from a firefighter at a school seeing a kid that had inadequate shoes and realized, talked to a few teachers, said this is a real thing, and he created this charity that has kind of blossomed from that. Big Heart Brigade was founded originally in Martin County, and initially it was just to take care of people with Meals on Wheels for Thanksgiving. It's blossomed into something else. We have Surfers for Autism, which is a firefighter who had an autistic child that found a way to connect with kids through surfing. So one of the things I'm really proud of our organization is we have individual firefighters that will see a need, address the need, and I'm so proud of our team kind of rallying around that firefighter, and I've seen it time and time again throughout my career, and just something I'm real proud of.
well, I appreciate your service. Luckily, I've never had to call and use you guys, but I'm sure one day, that stroke or heart attack will kick in, and I'll need to call you guys. So I appreciate everything you guys do.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Chief, for coming. Thanks.
We're going to take a quick break, and we come back and we'll talk more with some competitors competing in the upcoming Firefighter Challenge. Welcome back to Inside St. Lucie. I'm your host, Eric Gill, and I'm joined by two members of the St. Lucie County Fire District,
Brian Reeby.
and
Matt Coney.
Brian and Rhett. Thank you guys for coming on the show. Now, you guys have competed in the Firefighter Challenge. Obviously, you guys got to hoist this trophy up once or twice. How many times now?
This is we've won it twice. So we won it 2 years ago, and then we defended it last year.
Awesome. Now, tell me how the process works. Is probably like a regional competition, and then national. And this is the Worlds we're hosting, right? Or we've done the Worlds.
We did Worlds last year. We're doing Nationals this year.
year.
So there are regional events as well. We've attended a few of them. We went to Indianapolis in the beginning of the year. Then we went to just a local one in Stewart. We went to Mount Pleasant in South Carolina, and then we just went to Ocean City in Maryland. Those are all regional events that kind of just get us ready and prepare ourselves for the Nationals and the Worlds.
Setting some records.
We're trying to. We did break the state record in Stewart for the relay category.
Okay. Now, what's that process like? Because I can't imagine, because I've seen it, and you guys are in full gear. I'm sweating just in a t-shirt and shorts shooting video. I can't imagine what it feels like, what the temperature's like inside that.
We're very familiar with working in that gear anyway, so whether the climate's super hot outside or super cold, we're used to dealing in the gear. So that part's really not an issue for us. But the restrictions it causes, at high speeds and going through those 5 really complex actions that we have to do on a fire line at all times, we just get used to it, pretty much.
And Florida boys have a home field advantage when we host
I
here?
believe so. There's a
I
lot of
imagine those guys from Wisconsin.
The
aren't used to
northern guys, when they
humidity.
come over, they're a little jealous of our tans for one, and also secondly, the humidity is really, it's home field advantage for us.
And like Chief said too, you get up to the top of that tower, it's a beautiful view of the Indian River Lagoon. You guys see that every day, so right?
We always, no matter what city we're in, we stop at the top of that tower and just take it in real quick.
Yeah.
Before the competition starts.
Before,
we
yeah,
get it out
always
of the way.
before. Always before.
Do you have like a trial run, like the warm-ups, or is it kind of just the day of the event and then you go?
They usually, if you get there early enough, they give you a couple hours to kind of just go through the course and just get familiar with it and get comfortable. Because as far as the tower goes, it's always the same. But when you get off the tower, the ground might not be as level. In one spot, you might have an uphill climb for your hose drag or a downhill pull for the dummy drag. So you definitely want to get familiar with that, because if you're not aware of it, you might fall because.
Yeah. What's the toughest part of it?
showing
watched it.
up at the course.
Showing
Actually
up?
driving there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the toughest part. Yeah, everyone always asks which element, and every athlete you deal with has a part that they're superior at. They're just naturally gifted athletically at certain parts of it, but the training aspect of it and putting yourself through the grind and getting yourself prepared for the competition is the toughest part.
How many hours of training you guys put in?
Well, as far as on the course, we're putting several hours a week on it, but we're in the gym every day, getting ourselves ready, whether it's at the station or off duty. We're always training to be physically fit, but as far as on the course, it's several hours a week.
And this is a free event for the public, for spectators, right?
It
I
is.
mean, it's a great community event. Does it help when you guys are at home, your family and friends out there cheering you on, or is it more nerve-wracking?
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. As far as individual goes, it's definitely nerve-wracking, but it's always nerve-wracking. But you have more eyes on you in the individual. But in relay, there's no better feeling when you make a pass against the other team because they've got the lead, and you just hear the crowd erupt. It's amazing.
Awesome. Now, I like these shirts. You guys got these for sale? Can I
do.
pass myself off as a firefighter with them, or?
Sure.
Where can people buy? Because I know there's also some 911 shirts the fire district is selling. I imagine that's all available on the website or
Yeah, we have
social media.
We have a Facebook page and an Instagram, the SLCFD Firefighter Challenge Team, and we have them for sale on there. They can pay with card, they can pay with Zelle, they can pay with
Got
PayPal.
sponsors listed on the side to thank some of the
Absolutely.
local businesses.
For sure. Obviously, St. Lucie County Fire District's our biggest supporter. We have the Play Treasure Coast, the Sports Commission. We have Zero Dark 30 Media. We have IRSC. We can't do anything without IRSC. They give us the training facility to actually train on. We have other sponsors, like Shutters and Gutters. I'm probably missing a couple.
I think you've hit them all.
Oh, okay,
right.
perfect.
Anything else you guys want to talk about your job as a firefighter and what got you into it?
Well, for me, I've always been competitive. I think most firefighters are competitive. I might have a little bit more competitiveness than me. That's probably an understatement, but I'm super competitive. And as you get out of high school and you get out of being a kid, you're always on look to something to do to compete, whether it's a recreational league. But this, just felt right. I'm a firefighter. I learned about the Firefighter Challenge while I was in fire school, and I told myself I want to do that. When I become a firefighter. A few years went by before I actually did it because it wasn't until years into the service that they came to Florida. So I was like, well, it's a couple hours away. I just got to make the drive, and went there. And as soon as I went there, there was no going back or no turning back. I was just hooked and grabbed a few guys. And like, let's do this.
What about you?
Yeah, that's funny. He kind of alluded to a funny story. We met at that first competition, didn't know each other, and heard a St. Lucie County guy running, and he was like, "Who is that guy?" And that's how we'd met. I had been competing by myself on this tour for, at that time, 9 seasons, just solely representing St. Lucie County by myself because it was just something that I pushed myself to do to maintain that superior level of fitness. I thought it was important for my job and my performance. And when Brian got hired, it was a complete game changer because I had somebody with the same vision and the same goals for what I wanted St. Lucie County to do. And it was as soon as he got into the fold and added his special sauce to everything, we were world champions in 24 months.
That's awesome.
That's how much of an impact he had on us. So
Awesome. Well, I appreciate everything that you guys do for us here in St. Lucie County. Anything else you want to mention about the Firefighter Challenge or the Fire District in general?
We like to extend an amazing amount of gratitude to Indian River State College they have just really circled the wagons for us. They've always partnered with the St. Lucie County Fire District. We do a lot of our facility hours and training on a monthly basis there, but when it came to the Combat Challenge team, we require a lot more time out there. And they have to really bend the books and move because there's a lot of moving parts out there. The cops are doing stuff out there, the fire district's doing this, the cadets are doing stuff out there, so us kind of are a distraction a little bit out there, so they really accommodate us incredibly. And now they've went through with the partnership with the fire district to get us an exact replica of the tower that we compete on, which the muscle memory, we are roughly about 6 seconds away from the world record.
Okay.
So 5 seconds away from the world record, and that
Not
muscle
that
memory,
counting. Not
that
the
muscle memory
competition,
gotten
right?
from having an exact replica, it's going to be ours.
Awesome. Well, one of the events I went to, I noticed it's really a family-friendly event. I mean, a lot of firefighters probably have families, but there was even kind of a kids mini course at one of them. Is that going to be back again?
Absolutely. There's almost a replica of the challenge.
Except for
there,
the tower,
other than
right?
the tower, but they still get to drag a hose and shoot water at a target. They get a dummy to hit. They get the same Kaiser sled that they get to hit, and a little blow up an inflatable area that they get to climb through. So it's an amazing experience. They get to put the fire helmet on. They get to feel like the firefighters. They get to meet the firefighters. And the best part is the whole event, whether you're spectating or the kids running the course, doesn't matter. The whole event's free, so it's a can't miss event.
Yep, downtown Fort Pierce. So hope everyone comes out and supports these guys and women from the St. Lucie County Fire District, and even our regional. I'm sure there'll be folks from Martin and Indian River County.
Guaranteed.
So it's a great Treasure Coast event. Come on out and support that. Thanks again for your time, guys, and everything you do.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. Before we do, we're going to check in with the latest updates in Public Works with the construction zone. The reconstruction of Edwards Road from US 1 to Oleander is scheduled to begin this month after Brightline and the Florida East Coast Railroad finalize upgrades to the crossing on US 1 and Edwards Road. The proposed reconstruction project includes replacing the pavement and existing drainage system, replacing the signal at Oleander Boulevard, signing and pavement markings, and installing a new fiber optic cable under the roadway. The proposed design will maintain the current 5-lane urban roadway with a 6-foot wide sidewalk on the south side. Ranger Constructions is the lead vendor on this project, with the 2018 voter-approved half-cent sales tax serving as the primary funding source. The project is tentatively scheduled to be completed in July of 2023. Several factors have played into the delayed repairs to Edwards Road, which has had a lane closed since Hurricane Irma in 2017, including funding, permitting, and other factors. Stormwater pipes under the road impacted utilities and the integrity of the road. One of the main factors in delaying the project was the availability of material, primarily signal cable, for the pedestrian gate crossing at the railroad, which only FEC could procure. There have also been some delays due to the availability of workers from FEC to install the pedestrian gate, since they have been heavily involved with the construction of the Bright Line crossings. St. Lucie County's Water Quality Division continues to work on the drainage and swales that tie into the massive new stormwater treatment pond located off Melville Road. For the first few weeks in September, the corner of Ulrich and Melville Roads are expected to be closed to through traffic as crews complete this section of the project. Crews are making additional drainage improvements in that neighborhood, installing 35 connections into the new stormwater treatment area, which will store and cleanse runoff before slowly releasing that water back into local estuaries. Funding for this $1.9 million project comes from grants provided by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, MSTU funding, and the 2018 voter-approved half-cent sales tax. St. Lucie County Commissioners recently approved the design for the Midway Road Gateway project, which will include landscaping and irrigation improvements along Midway Road from I-95 to Glades Cutoff Road, and on the north side of Midway Road from Jenkins Road to Selvitz Road. Additionally, a gateway sign is proposed east of the I-95 exit ramps as a welcome feature to motorists entering our area. The landscaping improvements from I-95 to Glades Cutoff will provide a gateway with improved scenery, welcoming motorists into St. Lucie County. Roadway widening improvements of Midway Road from Glades Cutoff to US 1 include landscaping improvements, and this project will match the plant palette of the overall Midway Road corridor. Kimley Horn & Associates will complete the design of this project in the amount of $128,500 using its roadway design continuing services contract. Funding will be provided by the Unincorporated Services Fund / Midway Road I-95 Selvitz Beautification Fund. Construction of this project is anticipated to start in early 2024.
We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Inside St. Lucie, and we hope you'll tune in again next month. If you have topics or subjects you'd like to see covered on the program relating to St. Lucie County, give us a call at 772-462-1791 or send us an email at pio@stlucieco.org. And if you'd like to see previously aired episodes of this or other SLC TV programs, check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/stluciegov. I'm your host, Eric Gill, from myself and the staff. Thanks for watching.